Hi guys, so as in the last video we will now be continuing tones. So let us start the video. So if you remember from the last video, this is how we classify tones. We put them on a spectrum of high on one emotion and decreasing the emotion over the spectrum. So one extreme is the negative tone and another extreme is a mixed bag wherein you don't really know what each tone means, and in the center lies the neutral tone. So we classify tones on the basis of whether it expresses the emotions of the author or not. So let us have a very quick revision of what we did in the last video so that we have a continuity. So these are the neutral tones where factual is only facts. It is similar to being informative. Narrative is creating an image in your mind and giving a personal touch. Descriptive just elaborates on the facts with some specifics. Hypothetical is an imaginary assumed kind of a tone. Theoretical is which is mechanism based on theory on what should have happened, and critical is, as I said, pros and cons. It is different from criticism, which we will see in the negative tones, and analytical or logical is minute, in-depth, one step at a time kind of an analysis. Moving to the negative tones that we've seen, satire is somewhere which is aimed at improvement. Sarcasm is a general, very personal mockery which does not have an intention. Acerbic or harsh is the extreme bitterness or extreme rudeness, extremely negative, hurtful tone. Criticism, as I said, is it doesn't point out anything positive about the ideas. It also talks only about how bad it is. Everything is negative. It is a next degree of acerbic. So it will be sad, harsh, acerbic, and criticism. Now, melancholic or sad is very gloomy, which is very hard to write because that one single emotion is very hard to display continuously. Dogmatic is being stubborn, being close-minded, not open to change, and being narrow-minded. And concerned is just worried about what is happening. All right. So we left it in the last video by saying that we'll talk about the mixed bag. So this video is specifically given for mixed bag. Now you will have this thought that why do we need to have a different video for mixed bag? The reason is in the name itself. It's a mixed bag, all right? So every tone has to be individually understood. What happens with the positive and the negative tone is, if you've read the paragraph, or a positive and a neutral tone, if you read the paragraph and you see that the whole paragraph is positive or negative, in that situation you're able to very quickly eliminate options that, okay, options B and C are neutral tones but the paragraph is negative. But with a mixed bag, the problem with the mixed bag is there is no such pattern, and if there is no such pattern, you need to definitely know the meaning of each word. You need to know how you use that kind of word or that tone in any of the paragraphs. You need to know that out of these particular mixed bag, which tone exactly or which synonym is being used in the passage. So you need to definitely know the answer here. You need to understand. That is the reason that we have a separate video for mixed bag. Alright, so these are the mixed bag tones that are generally available, which are the ones which are the most asked for. Now, similar to the exercise that we did for the negative and the neutral tones, we'll be having, I will request you guys to Google out and have synonyms of whatever words that have been mentioned over here. You'll get a list of tones and you can put them under any of these headings, alright? So, I think we should start with understanding what each one of them is. So, irony. The thing with irony is it means that whatever is happening or whatever is being said or whatever is being seen is something which is completely opposite to what was expected or what was predicted. So you can say, for example, the Center for Environmental Studies had 13 air conditioners in its small auditorium. So do you see the irony? It is a Center for Environmental Studies, which studies about global warming, the carbon footprint and all that. But it has 13 air conditioners only in its one small auditorium. So irony is something which you see or something which you observe, which is opposite to the nature that you might have expected or what that particular person or thing stands for. Let me give you an example of paradox. Paradox is something which has no solution. It gives you a contradiction to which there is no solution at all. For example, the paradox is, what came first, the egg or the hen or the chicken? So this kind of paradox are things which are contradictory, which seem to have no immediate solution. Now, pragmatic is something which is based completely on practical facts and logic. So pragmatic can be a person, pragmatic can be a solution. Pragmatic is something which you take on basis of actual real hard facts. All right. Authoritative or commanding. Now, how can a tone be authoritative? A tone can be authoritative or commanding if it is forcing you and wanting you to think only in the one particular manner in which the author is prescribing. All right. So commanding tones are very strong opinion based tones. Going to the nostalgic part. Nostalgia in itself means pain for the past. You want to go back to the past. So nostalgic is generally a recollection of memories which can be both happy or sad. Now, some people say nostalgia is related to sad memories, a person gets sad, but no, nostalgia in a word itself means you have that small bit of sadness because you're recalling some memory. That memory in itself is not sad. You are sad because those memories have passed. Oh, all right. So nostalgia will have that tinge of sadness, but that sadness will be because that happy time or that particular time has passed. Now, going to subjective. Subjective is something wherein you shift with case to case basis. For example, if you say that there is the children of the poor families need to study hard. Now, what does this mean? This means that if you are born in a poor family, you will have to study hard. So how is this subjective? This is subjective because the author does not say that everybody should study hard to succeed. He says that if you are born in a poor family, you will definitely need to study hard. So his opinion about studying or the need of studying is based on subject to subject basis. It is based on who you are talking about. So that is why it's a subjective kind of a tone. Exactly opposite of subjective is objective. Objective is unbiased opinion. It does not depend on who it is saying to, what is it saying about, or what is it talking about. Objective in this case would be, for example, all children need to study hard. In this case, the author is saying that every child, no matter where he is born, in which socio-economic class he is born, he should study hard. Now, this is an objective opinion. It does not take into account the case-to-case basis. So, this is an exactly opposite of the subjective tone. Moving on to the opinionated tone. The opinionated tone is something which is very biased. So if you have an opinion about something, if I have an opinion, say Modi should not continue or Modi should not be reinstated for a second term as the Prime Minister, or his government should not be formed in the next elections. Now this is my opinion. If I give you all the facts on this direction and I ask you to make your own opinion, then this tone is kind of an opinionated tone wherein I have an opinion and this is a very strong opinion which is very biased. How is it biased? Because I am not looking at both the sides. I am only telling you my opinion. So it's an opinionated tone for you. Now coming to the rhetoric tone. The thing with rhetoric tone is it is very easy to identify because from the passage you will be able to look for hints which tell you about the rhetoric tone. Now, if you talk about the rhetoric tone, it is like if you want to ask a question in such a way that you know the answer, that the answer that you want, it doesn't have that impact and it is of very little use. For example, if the author is talking about how the economics of the country work and then it says that, what do you think would be the most important occupation in India? Now, even you know that an author who's written extensively about how agriculture and the private economy and the primary industry is contributing to the economics of India, if he asks a question like, okay, what is the primary occupation of India? Then you know that he also knows and you also know that it is agriculture because he's been talking about it. So rhetoric is a tone in which he is asking a question in such a way that he gets the answer that he wants to hear from your mouth. He wants you to say that, okay, it is agriculture. Because he wants you to accept. He wants you to take cognizance of the fact. Alright. Moving to euphemism. Euphemism is something wherein you put your words very mildly. Like instead of saying that, okay, Mr. XYZ is dead, you say Mr. XYZ passed away. So euphemism is something putting mildly, something which is very rude or which is unfortunate or something like that. So these are the basic neutral tones that we have. Now we will see what is the importance of the tones. So let us move on. So why do you need to have a tone? Now the reason is tones can be identified individually for each paragraph. In any RC, you'll generally have 2 or 3 paragraphs. So if you understand the tone for each paragraph, the tone of each paragraph will actually be contributing to the RC main idea. And if they're contributing the idea, they are obviously contributing the tone, because as we saw, the tones differ mostly on the way ideas are being projected, alright? So all the paras 1, 2 and 3 will be contributing to the main idea in the main tone. So if you identify the tone for any one of these 3 paragraphs, you will be able to find the tone for the main idea, alright? Despite all this discussion, there are certain places where people slip a lot with respect to tones, or I will also take that in this video only. In the next video, I will first start with the simple examples of finding out the tones for single lines, and in the third video after this, I will be talking about the complex examples wherein we'll be taking the tones of whole paragraphs. So where do we slip? These are the most 4 important points where people generally slip. These are out of scope, subject or details error, tertiary points error, or the opinions or emotions error. So if I elaborate on each of them, out of scope means you're not able to identify the main point correctly. If you don't identify the main content, the main idea, then your tone is not going to be in sync with the main idea. The second is the subject plus details error. If there is an incorrect or exaggerated modification in the RC, generally people skip, or people really slip in these areas because they feel that the exaggeration is not to be read. But the problem is if you do not read the exaggeration, you will not know what degree it is. As we saw, you remember harsh, acerbic and criticism. Now in that case, you will not know whether it is sad, whether it is harsh or acerbic or criticism. You will not know whether it's sad or gloomy or melancholic. So these grades are really important. For these grades, you need to know and read all the exaggerated modifications that are given in the reading comprehension. Moving to the third error, there are something called tertiary points, which are neither the main idea nor the supporting details. They are just points which are mentioned in the RC. These are points which exist, but they are not the main point. Some people, on basis of 1 or 2 statements in the RC, one or two tertiary points, will make an opinion on the tone. This will not be in sync with the main idea. So you see, this will be out of scope. So you can see the first and the third tertiary points are actually related. Moving to the last one, opinions or emotions. Many people I've seen over the years, even my batchmates are there, what they do is they let their personal opinion or emotions come into picture when they look at tones. Now this is a very big problem. If you look at the tones, you have to look at it the way the author is saying it and just by what the facts are present in the RC. You don't have to have your own opinion. For example, if you really like Modi, alright, but the passage says both sides, for example, pros and cons both. Now if you let your emotions come into the picture, you will say that the person the passage is criticism about Modi. Yeah, just think about it, right? Because he's on both the sides and you don't like it because you like Modi, so you don't want to listen to the other sides. So this according to his criticism, but no, this is critical. He's looking at pros and cons both. He's just telling you what he feels or what the facts are. Or if there is a particular passage that talks about what was Modi's role in one of the scams. Now if you really like Modi, you will say that this kind of post is a satire, or it is criticism. But the point is, it is just factual, it is just informative. Okay, so these are the places where people generally slip. So now what we'll do is we'll move on to the next video, which will be a very basic examples of tones. We'll go slowly in the next video. We'll understand the tones for all the small lines, and then we'll jump on to do the tones for big paragraphs. Alright, so thank you folks, and I hope to see you in the next video. Thanks a lot.